Welcome to Bobby's Cryptid Corner.
I love that so much.
I'm Bree.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Bobby of the Cryptid Corner.
Hey. Okay. I'm excited for tonight's episode for many reasons because first off, we're talking about a cryptid. So like applause for that, everybody. Like we're talking about cryptids again, but also because what?
No, I said that's what this is. It's the Cryptid Corner.
Right. I'm proud of us. But before we get into the cryptids, we are going to talk about Bobby's birth chart instead of our normal show and tell today.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I have a
Oh,
show
wait.
and tell for you later.
Do you?
Actually,
Okay, wait, show us real quick then.
I shouldn't.
Oh.
No.
Why? Oh.
This is the one I said I was trying to do, and then I ran out of time.
Okay, so then no, we're not doing the exactly. We're not doing it. So we're going straight into the birth chart.
Episode.
Oh.
I tried because you were like, "Did you make a picture?"
Oh, wait till
You made
later.
a picture. Yours is up there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll wait till later. We'll wait till later. Don't you just why'd you tell him about the picture?
Okay, well, I have this one.
Oh wow, that's nice.
And I have this one.
Okay.
And then I wanted to show you guys the progress of my magician.
Okay.
He's looking better.
Oh, yes, he is.
He's looking better.
He doesn't look so like serial killery.
He looked like a legit Michael Myers.
He really did. What's the other paintings of? Like they're green and shiny?
Oh, this one, I don't know what I was doing here.
Oh,
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And this is another one. I have no fucking idea. I was bored
Ooh.
and I was just like,
It looks like fingers.
I was like, let's explode. And
Okay.
that's what I got.
Okay. Well, I've done paintings. I put them behind us. I did this one right here of, I don't know, just my
I'm
emotions.
so impressed with that photo. I mean, that painting.
This one?
Yeah.
You get a
No,
close-up? Yeah.
when you
Oh,
when
nice.
you sent it in our chat, I honestly was like, that is a dope fucking picture.
It's also
I
has
don't
like,
know why, but I just love it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
it has like sparkles in it and stuff. I don't know.
I could see that in like a museum.
that
Like
was just
big. I would love that. Even on my
They
wall.
could
I'd
you
put
could
that on
totally
my
like
wall.
launder
Oh.
money with that painting.
Well, that one was just
That's
like
what I'm trying to do.
a vibe. Okay, so then I have this one over here. I painted the universe. And what I loved about it is that I painted the three of us inside of a UFO. Bobby's the
Aw.
tall one, and we're the short ones, Bree, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a tall white.
So am I actually. Very,
Mm.
very interestingly enough. Bree is a Pleiadian.
You guys know I'm like 6'7", right?
Yes, you are literally like a giant Bigfoot. Oh, Bree, did you not know that?
What?
You didn't know that?
Are you really 6'7"?
Yeah.
I'm like 6'6".
Yeah.
6'7" sounds more impressive for some reason.
Bree's husband's very tall too, as well.
He's not that tall though.
You know what's fun is this is, well, I don't want to segue into the cryptid yet. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk
all
about
I was
it.
gonna say is it's a good spark to the Halloween season cryptid.
It is. We are going to be
celebrating
doing.
Halloween in September and it goes through Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say we're gonna this is like kind of our kicking off of spooky season. We're doing kind of like a spooky cryptid today. The picture is here behind me. The audios can't hear. The audio only listeners can't hear it, but for the YouTubers, you can ponder it. We won't say it yet, but this is my interpretation of them. But we are gonna do some spooky things here and talk about some more spooky as we go on to the spooky season. So we're pretty excited about that.
But first,
I
I need you guys to make a case and sell me on all this astrology mumbo jumbo. So I gave you my birth date, I gave you my birth time, I gave you my location.
Yep.
What do we got? Let's see if this is like one of those things where like, well, you could apply that to anyone if you think about it the right way.
Well, I think that is with all astrology, and that's why they use such wide terms sometimes, because it's supposed to be meant to be able to cast a net. Well, I mean, it is.
Okay.
But I think when you get into the very specifics of a birth chart, it's very different. I think that when you're talking about astrology in general, it's meant to be a little bit more vague. Exactly. Bree, why don't you go ahead and start? I'll let you kick it off.
I was just going to say that it is wide because we can read about a certain planet or placement in the chart, but you also have degrees of whatever each planet is in that sign or in that house. But then you have to look at the overall picture. And so something that like professional astrologers will do is they will take that large picture, all of those different degree placements, and actually go into depth. And those can really hit you on a personal note. So it's like, it's one thing to like type it in like we did online, but these astrologers know what they're doing and they will dive deep into you. Sounds weird.
Wow,
They
that's
will
sexy.
Yeah.
Before you get into my thing with this, can you talk a little bit about, I guess, like I don't want to say logic behind it, or maybe like the foundational, like where does this come from, and like what is the
I don't know.
driving force behind astrology?
I think the overall driving force would be that every single planetary object holds a type of energy. And I think that we all see that when it comes to full moons. I think it's like people joke, about it. But there has been studies that like weird activity and like with humans, like killings or disappearances or like weird things have actually been proven to be like spiked up when there's a full moon.
Sure.
And I mean, the moon itself obviously has a gravitational pull on the earth. It controls our oceans. We're 70% water. So obviously,
Right.
and why would we separate ourselves?
Is there any reason why, the cosmic forces and energy and stuff would affect someone's like personality or destiny or things like that?
I think because when you're born into the world, there are all of these different planets that are carrying all these different energies are placed in particular places.
Mm-hmm.
So when your soul is coming through, when your soul is being born into the earth, it's literally almost like being pushed through, veil is not a good word. Like pushed through all of these different forces, all of these different energies. This was like your time to come through where all of that affects you. Like you were born into that.
So it's almost like a system. Like it's like they're pushing this consciousness into the super organism of humanity based. Like, it's almost like an intelligent, like it's very formulaic.
Well, yeah. And I think it also could even go back to the theory of that we're not separate. People like to say like, you are the universe, but that's literally because you're not really that separate. And if every single planetary object can hold its own energy, and consciousness is a great word because it can also hold consciousness, which many people like are super, super deep into, which I have yet to like deep dive into, but basically that every single planetary object is its own consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are being affected by all of those different consciousness that creates yours. That's like a filter for you.
All right.
It's like
and as planets affect you.
Yeah, it's like as you pass through it, like you're collecting that energy as you go, and that's what's making you up as your soul human being. And a lot of people say too that this has to do with like when you sign your soul contract before you get shot down into earth, like you are choosing this birth chart and this path and this map that you're going on. So like there's these ties almost to like the stars being a map, right? And so maybe that's like a bigger way of them like, okay, this is where I am, this is my journey, this is where I'm going. You know what I mean?
And it doesn't just apply to people, because people like dope astronomers will look at things like our political system or cryptocurrency, things like that,
big
like
world events. They can see it in the stars, literally.
They literally can see the placements in the stars, and they can predict that. In fact, I'm sure the both of us follow this one girl on TikTok because
the red girl,
amazing, because she like for like the past, I started following her during quarantine.
So for over the past year,
she has made predictions like
perfectly
months in advance. She like places it all out. Like she talks about cryptocurrency. She talks about like big events that will happen in history, about who could be president, about why, like what's going to happen, these signs, and literally like it all falls through.
So it's almost the way in which we were talking about a few episodes ago about it's not necessarily like a supernatural power. It's just a skill of being able to like recognize patterns
and pick up on that. Yep.
And connect the dots. And and I can see now why like the different ages of humanity, like the different ages astrologically, how they affect humanity. So we can apply that to a granular level of an individual human being.
Well,
exactly. Like Pluto is always in everyone's like last house. Is it our last? I'm blanking. But there's a sign. Why can't I remember? But Pluto's like in like 2 generations. This placement in Pluto has been there, and it's basically like you can tell by the generations that come just off of that placement how they react, how they are when they're like rebelling against something, or when they have more like transcendental type of awakenings, like the 70s. You know, you see these like almost like waves of things when there's groups of people that come in and they all have a little bit of that something, and it seems to be based off of what the signs are in that placement.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. What do you got?
Well, and one more thing before we get into it too is I just want to point out these birth charts and stuff aren't super prominent in today's world. It's thought of as very hokey, but back in the day, it was a very big deal. This is how kings and stuff were made. Like astrologers would sit down with kings and queens and tell them when to get pregnant, when they were going to want to have the baby and things like that. And it dictated who was running these countries. It wanted people who were favorable and had like these very strong histories and stuff. So that was a very prevalent thing that happened and shaped a huge part of our history.
And Nancy Reagan was into this shit too.
Yep.
She was like she had like a personal astrologer and stuff. So.
She was also into a lot of other things as well too.
I'm into lots of birth chart things. I mean, not this one. I'm also very into human design. I think I take that just as equally as just astrology, because I think the human design takes astrology and a whole bunch of other things into consideration. I think we should get into that one day.
What we should do is we should create like a forum or something where people fill out their like birth date and time of day they were born, and match people up with similar locations, and then we can kind of compare and contrast. You
mean like
attributes of
matchmake, or like, oh, like you are very similar.
Like I meet another person
similar
born
to
on
this.
Yeah, and see, if we can kind of test these things. But anyway, yeah, I got you. I think I follow. All
right, so Bree, why don't you start off with the big 3 major signs?
Bobby is a Scorpio sun. He is a Pisces rising, and he is a Libra moon.
Sensual.
So it's funny because Bobby and I have the same sun.
Yeah.
Jamie's sun is
Libra.
Bobby's moon.
Oh,
and then Pisces is your ascendant. So Pisces. So overall, your 3 are 2 waters and 1 air signs.
Okay, what does that mean?
So everything is based, all the different signs are like squished into a category. You got your waters, your earths, your air, and your fire. We all know the elements.
Like Captain Planet.
Exactly.
But overall, your ascendant, to me, I think sometimes ascendant is more important because that's how you act on an everyday basis.
Okay. I am on the cusp though of Pisces and Scorpio, right?
Is he?
Like the 18th.
Oh yeah. Because it's like the 20th or the 21st or whatever is that line. Yeah, but we're talking about this.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about strictly his sun sign. That's the thing. The thing what she's talking about is your sun sign as a Scorpio is what kind of means the least in all of this.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
So just because like you're a cusp baby, that doesn't matter. We're talking about specifically the day that you're born, not because you're born within a certain time frame.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, Brie.
So I mean, I only know from what I see like when we're recording and stuff, so I can't really say how you act on an everyday basis in comparison to a Pisces. But water signs in general tend to be, especially with Pisces, a little bit emotional. But more like because you feel like water signs are really good with intuition, feel, magic, the underlying of things. like that mystical type of vibe. So I don't
mean,
know.
I'm hanging out with you guys on this
Very
show,
true.
right?
That's very true.
That is true.
Is curiosity a part of this by chance?
Absolutely.
Very much so.
I think in all water signs, but especially in Scorpio, I think that that's like the number one thing is always it's knowledge, finding out. Scorpios in general are like the most mystical sign. It's about transformation. It's the unseen, trying to make the unseen seen. So you have like all of that together. And then with Libra, you have an air
moon,
sign
yeah,
in your moon, which is like your deeper self.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon, the moon and Libra together is very lovey-dovey.
Okay.
It is. It's very lovey-dovey, the two. All right, let's get into your birth chart just a little bit. So what Bree's talking about, like all these different things, is your sun sign is your traditional zodiac sign. You think that you're a Scorpio. Your moon sign is where the moon placement was. So your moon was in Libra and your rising was in Pisces.
Okay.
So that's the different kind of thing she's talking about. So those dictate the different parts of your life, is what she's saying.
Those are like the biggest that normally people can identify. Like you might meet someone like Jamie and I talk about all the time how people are like, oh, you're a Scorpio, you're this and you're that. And Jamie's like, but she doesn't really act that way. She's not like that. That's because you have to take into consideration your moon and your rising. Now, my moon happens to also be Scorpio, but my rising is a Sagittarius. So I have the fire in my everyday self. And also, I think with your evolution of being as a person, I think that your like the attributes of each planet can shift, and maybe you tend to master certain parts of that sign and the others fall away, if that makes sense, because you'll hear like an array of different attributes to a sign, but maybe you don't identify with all of them. But it could be that over time, as you grow, there's certain parts of that sign that falls away for you, and other parts that you really can step into that type of power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start with your sun sign, and the sun represents your individuality and kind of like your outward shining creative energy. And your sun is in Scorpio, as they said. So Scorpios are known for their intensity. They are determined folk that absolutely throw themselves into whatever they do, but getting them to commit to something is rarely an easy task. In fact,
that is already right on target.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
In fact, it's better not to even try to get them to do anything. Solar Scorpios absolutely have their own mind, and their primary motivation is unlikely to be prestige or even authority. It's real power. Their power can absolutely be of the behind the scenes variety, just as long as they have it.
So unlikely to pursue prestige and power?
It's not because of prestige and authority. It's power that you're really after.
True power. It's not like prestige and all of that. That's
like if you're the king, it's talking about being the puppet behind the scenes. Like you want to control it all.
It's true power.
Okay.
Right? Because prestige that can fall away.
I have no interest in authority or controlling other people.
Me either.
It's not about controlling other people. It's about power.
Okay. What I guess what I'm saying is like, okay. I think I'm kind of registering.
Do you have issues with control?
Control? Yes, I do actually.
I do too. I didn't realize it till we started doing the podcast.
Or
when
like
I realized
I'm kind of
how controlling I need to be.
Well,
it's not that she needs to fix it. It's how controlling she needs to be. This is an active. I am a controlling individual, period. End of story.
Unfortunately, I try to let go, and I've let go so much.
No, there's no reason to. She really has, but there's no reason to.
I really have. Yeah. But it's like that. Like I have to be in control. Unfortunately,
she has to have the final word at all times.
Yes.
Or maybe even sneaky when people don't think that you're trying to persuade them some way, but you do, and you know that you're doing it.
Or you seek different strategies to do that.
Yeah,
but
it's like a deep strategy. It's like so deep that you like convince yourself you're not doing it, but ultimately you are.
could I have a, I don't know if this is related, that's why I'm bringing it up. Like I have a very going back to control, like I'm very like, I guess, insecure when people don't like respect my input on things. Does that make sense? Like it's like whenever like I make a suggestion or like, you know, and I just kind of get brushed off by the group for whatever reason,
Yeah.
like that really fucking miffs me.
Yeah.
But
You're like,
I
no.
don't necessarily desire the authority to.
You want the respect. I understand what you're saying.
I want the influence.
Yeah.
And I want my influence to be at least considered.
All right. You need to let me finish this birth chart because this says all these things inside of here.
All right.
Okay. So a short description of you is physical energy and courage, strong passions, regeneration and improvement, strong sexual powers. Potential issues that you have is you are suspicious, defiant, extremist, and sometimes vindictive.
Suspicious, is that the first one?
Suspicious, yes.
I'm incredibly skeptical about pretty much everything.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, I would say so.
Spot on for that. Okay, so
or at least I'm trying to find like the kind of behind the scenes motivations of various.
That's like me. There's always something underlying that I think people don't see. That's
even
what
if
it
the
is.
other person doesn't see it themselves.
Exactly.
I'm very into like the psychology behind
something.
action and trying to figure out.
So that's that part of you.
So because you're a Scorpio with the ascendant Pisces, and because the sun is in the 8th house, you have a great urge to go further or deeper into life every step of the way. You want to experience more, and your desires are both powerful and intense. It is hard for you to find satisfaction in common experiences, and you have magnetic power to choose to use it wisely. You are fascinated with what lies under the surface, and at some point in your life, self-improvement is a big interest. You are attracted to unexplored or taboo areas of life, and you avoid all things superficial. Financial problems may ease after marriage.
Okay.
And did you marry into money?
No.
Lies.
No. He's not going to be wealthy. Somewhere in here it says that he's going to get a small inheritance from his parents.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Well.
That sounds wonderful.
Any of that hit anywhere?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
To like the taboo or the like unconventional or unorthodox, I guess. How did
you're attracted to unexplored or taboo areas of life and avoid all things superficial.
And that goes along with defiance too, I think.
Absolutely. I think so.
I think it's a defiant, like I don't subscribe to like status quo forms of thought, and I think that that's a form of defiance, or I'm always questioning or whatever. So yeah, I think that that's pretty accurate. And then what was the last part?
Financial problems may ease after marriage was the very last line.
Yeah, I mean that's always ebbed and flow. I know what I was going to say about that is like, and perhaps I'm jumping the gun again, but I'm definitely more attracted to experience and knowledge versus like material wealth. Like I would rather go like spend money on like a temporary experience rather than like drive a nice car or something.
Yes. You don't like material things. Yes. Okay.
I mean, I do, but it's not like a major.
It's not major
factor.
Yeah. Okay. So your emotions and your will are at peace with one another, suggesting a rather balanced personality. The messages you received in childhood were not contradictory overall, and you have a stronger sense of purpose and appreciation of harmony than most people. You are likely personally popular, mainly because you expect harmony in your relationships. You are attractive to most people, and your self-confidence and security make you easy to deal with on many levels. You are relaxed, easygoing. Your relaxed, easygoing disposition puts others at ease. You may not be prepared or conflict, and you often avoid rocking the boat. You have acquaintances to others a little too often, if only to maintain a feeling of balance and harmony, as conflict is something you not only dislike, but you might fear it. Your tendency towards too much acceptance of yourself and others is usually present. You must be encouraged to question life, or you run the risk of for taking things for granted.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's compelling.
Okay. Short description. You have a lot of vitality. You like public life and you are popular, and the company you keep is appreciated. You're balanced and at ease with yourself, and you usually get along well with your parents or guardians.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. See?
I mean,
Nice. You family
especially
man?
now. I don't have any kids.
No. Yeah, you're not going to have kids.
But yeah, I'm tight with my parents, I guess.
You don't want kids?
No, the chart says he's not going to have kids.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
The chart doesn't. You can always change that. Don't listen.
Yeah, I mean, that's never been a priority. Like my wife and I are like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's like whatever kind of thing. It's like not something.
She just like make cream pies all day, and then if it like bakes, it bakes.
That's one gross way to put it, I guess.
All right then. Thanks, Brie. It's great.
Guys, let's wrap this up. I gotta make a cream pie real quick.
Is that why you couldn't come on until 6:45? Bacon.
I was watching Planet of the Apes.
All right, so okay,
Whatever you want to call it.
let's get back to this. Actually, speaking of children, it's easy and natural for you to accept responsibilities and lead a rather ordered life, and to apply caution in your financial and business dealings. You rarely jump to conclusions or take uneducated risks. You have a certain amount of patience and enough self-discipline to slowly but surely achieve what you set out to do. Although somewhat undemonstrative, you are generally loyal and responsible people to those you care about. You take your time in the most endeavors and generally use a step-by-step approach to most projects, but you steadily research your goals. You are naturally trustworthy, and you don't have much patience for those who don't show respect for others, who take foolish risks, and who lead disorganized lives.
I definitely like scoff at that. I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Scoff at which part?
People who
like,
don't have their shit,
just
like, yeah.
people that don't have their shit together. Like,
Really?
I mean, I could definitely like sympathize with people in certain situations, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm very much like a individualist, like you're the master of your own destiny kind of thing. And I don't like people that make excuses, I guess.
Yeah.
What if they're just lazy people though?
That's what he's not
Yeah,
into. Yeah.
That's
So you're just like, you lazy piece of shit.
No, but I'm also not gonna like.
I would be like, yeah.
I don't really provide a lot of respect for
People who are like that, yeah.
Or people that like aren't self-aware to like remedy that, I guess. I don't know.
All right,
That's
we ready?
interesting.
Are we ready for your moon? I'm excited about this because I'm a Libra, so I love Libra vibes. Okay, so the moon represents your emotional responses, unconscious predestination, and the self-image. The moon represents the emotions, and the moon is the sign that shows a person how to express themselves when they're at ease, at home, and comfortable. So your moon's in Libra. So moon and Libra people have a strong need for a partnership. Without someone to share their lives with, they feel pretty incomplete. This is why people with this position get involved in marriages or living together arrangements quite young. Because this drive for harmony, peace, and sharing is so powerful, lunar Libras are apt to do a lot of conceding. They are sympathetic and concerned for others, enjoy socializing, and reveal in a good debate. Mental rapport with others is especially important to them.
Yeah. It
doesn't all have to hit home.
No, I know. The first part, like, I don't know. I'm pretty autonomous.
Sounds needy.
I don't need like
Libras are a little needy, but you have to remember that this is unconscious part of you.
Okay, fair enough. But
But
yeah,
it's
the
still there.
latter part of that is pretty dead on, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right. So Moon and Libra natives simply can't help but see flaws in their environment and their relationships. In fact, anything out of whack will bother them until it's fixed. Although diplomatic with acquaintances, when Moon and Libra natives argue with their longstanding partners, they rarely let up until they win. And winning an argument is a Libra specialty. In fact, they may not even believe what they are saying, but will adapt all kinds of ideas just to get the last word.
Sounds like me.
Sounds like me
Yep.
to a fucking T, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm always like, okay, just stop. That's what I get told in an argument.
I wonder if I have my birth time wrong.
Because I can't shut up.
You know, I had 1 minute off one time and it gave me a Libra moon.
Did it really?
Mhm.
Well, maybe you do have a Libra moon. You just don't realize it. Okay, let's keep going. So you are sociable and popular. You have good judgment. You are intelligent and reasonable. and you take a liking to social pleasures. Potential issues you have is an instability in loving relationships, wavering, may give too much weight to the views of others and to public opinion. Again, this is all very subconsciously.
You don't want to admit to any of that.
Yeah,
no. Even if it were
I despise
true.
public opinion, to be honest with you, but okay.
Again, subconscious. So peace and harmony are important to you, perhaps too much so that you can easily be taken advantage of. Insecurity is something that you need to deal with at some point in your life. Very sensual. You sometimes replace love with food or shopping. You can also
yes.
You can also
Totally.
you can also be quite sexually active and sometimes quite lustful. You possess a distinct lazy streak sometimes, though, but you are capable of working hard, but you truly appreciate luxury and enjoy as many pleasures as possible, and self-discipline simply isn't always at your disposal.
See, I think that's very accurate, but I also think that that's very applicable to a lot of people. Like, oh, people are lustful and like are into luxury and pleasures of life. It's like, okay, like,
I'll give you that one. That one's a little broad on that one. I'll give you short description. Short description. You are frank, honest, full of vigor and ambition. You are strong-willed and powerful at work. You are a little too hard on yourself, perhaps more on others whose capability of action is not as great or inherent.
Okay.
You may lack firmness and can be a sucker for a sob story. You like to live in a dream in a world of imagination and can hope so much for things that reality checks can be brutal.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very much an escapist. I'm into like like we mentioned earlier, kind of stuff below the surface, and aliens and fantasy and sci-fi and all that kind of shit. And then when faced with reality of situations that I need to grapple with or address, it can be a bit challenging, I guess.
Exactly. All right. So you can be unhappily influenced by family or childhood, or otherwise feel rather insecure about new beginnings or new situations. You may always be looking for more love, appreciation, and feedback. You are susceptible, perhaps with some superficial sensitivity, and can sometimes be changeable, inconsistent, and moody. However, you are usually highly intelligent, observant, and adaptable, and is very often misunderstood, projecting the wrong image more often than is comfortable.
Sure. I don't want to expand on every single thing, but yeah.
Don't. If it hits with you, it does.
I think you should. I like therapy, so.
Okay, so now we're getting into your Mercury, which your Mercury is in Sagittarius.
Wait, what were we getting into before?
That was all Moon in Libra. Yeah.
Your Mercury is in a Sag?
In a Sag, yeah. So you're enthusiastic, humorous, and sometimes moralistic. You have strong opinions and will often be eager to share them. You are democratic, a philosopher, tolerant, respectful of laws, interested in foreign places and learning more languages, believes that everything teaches you something. Oh, and Mercury represents your logical spirit, just so you know.
I'd say that's 90% accurate.
You're a Democrat?
No, democratic.
I know, I'm kidding.
Okay.
That's one of the less accurate parts of the Democratic part.
Exactly. Okay. His thirst for knowledge is never satisfied. He is mentally active. He may undertake exhaustive studies, always studying for pleasure. He very much can enjoy journeys to faraway places and may one day live abroad.
Cool. Yeah. I'd say that's accurate.
You are eternally curious and hunger for knowledge. You enjoy studying and learning and do it not because you have to, but because you want to. You enjoy exchanging ideas and personal philosophies with others. You can be easily enthusiastic and even inspiring in your communications. While you may not pay enough attention to details, you are skilled at finding a quick solution to problems. You readily see the bigger picture and enjoy sharing your opinions and ideas. You get off on how information affects people's lives, and you take great pleasure in learning that something you have shared or taught them has inspired them to take action, experience something new, or make changes in their lives. Some of you may be too quick to offer advice. However, that may be lacking in thoroughness and practicality, or that you don't yourself understand. Fuck, sometimes I can't read.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true. Where'd Bree go?
I'd probably to go pee, in all honesty. Sometimes she disappears. The audio people don't know that, only the YouTube people do. Okay,
now
so
they do.
so now we're talking about your Venus, and your Venus is your emotions, values, exchanges, and sharing with others. And
Okay.
Your Venus is in Capricorn. Okay. Venus in Capricorn people will try to win your heart by displaying self-control, presence of mind, and responsible behavior. These lovers want you to know they are goal-oriented, witty, savvy, and controlled. Nobody can get the best of them. They want you to see just how competent you are. They like some measure of predictability in their relationship, as they are cautious in love.
Who are we talking about here?
You.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That one's not
you.
You.
Kept saying, yeah. Well, I got
it's just
confused 'cause
it's so sometimes when they say they, it's because they're saying it like everyone who's a Venus and Capricorn, like usually people who are Venus and Capricorn. That's why they're saying it like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious.
Good yawn.
Excuse me, I had a yawn. I'd be curious to like hear other people's birth charts just to see if I can apply.
Well, we could definitely go over some of ours later. We could definitely like at different ones.
Okay, let's do you guys in another episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So others tend to respect you for your charming manner, and you may have admirers, although some of them are admirers from afar, as there is an aura about you that is charming yet strangely and intriguingly distant. You have a great need to be recognized or admired for your charm, beauty, or loving manner, but should be careful not to become too wrapped up in what others think of you, as you might come across as phony or superficial. Some people with this position are married to their work or to their image. You are good at making contacts and organizing social events.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always think, I don't know. I always think about this. I think this kind of applies, but I think about a lot of like a lot of people I know that like ended up together were like met through me, or like a lot of whether that be a marriage or a friendship or like a friend group or whatever. Like I always seem to be the crux of that, and I don't know if that's confirmation bias just because I'm in my own universe in that way. But it feels like I'm always like connecting people. Like a third party that brings people together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
In various ways, whether that be jobs or marriages or friendships or
you connect a lot of dots with people.
Right.
Yeah, I see that. So here it says you're good-hearted and generous, possessing a good character. He likes well-being, comfort, a life of ease without problems. He has good relationships with his social circle. He is easy to approach. All the time, he may fall in love easily, but he has successful partnerships and a professional life. People usually trust him.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close.
We're halfway there, guys.
Oh God.
We have a lot of the same shit.
So you have some in your Lilith house, you have Venus. So you can have difficulties expressing the feelings consistently, and that baffles others. A brooding nature with intense moments that you find difficult to accept or own, which can disrupt relationships.
Brooding nature. Okay. Yeah. Again, that's kind of one that I just feel like you could apply that to so many.
So a lot of people. I get you. You have good taste, an affectionate nature. True. His love is warm and deep, based on intellectual understanding and common tastes. His friends are useful in furthering his career, good reputation in the professional world, well liked for what he does for a living.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I would also admit that I'm not, like, as far as career wise goes, I'm not particularly like, it's more of a means to an end rather than like a passion or like.
Well, yeah, you do like a lot of stuff too. You have your hands in a lot of pots.
I'm very into like not being at work, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
I get
I'm not married to my work or anything.
Yeah, I get you.
But I try to bring it when I can, and people generally, I think, trust me.
Yeah.
On some level.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you later, like what you do.
I do like
your normal 9-to-5 job.
I did sales for like 10 years, and then I moved into like operations, like technical, like marketing, like web marketing type stuff.
Ooh, fun.
That's cool.
I'll go into more detail later.
All right. So
if
Mars,
you really
she does. Mars represents the desire for action and physical energy, and your Mars is an Aquarius. I vibe with Aquariuses. It can be difficult to understand exactly what makes a Mars and Aquarius native tick, and that's absolutely fine with them. They enjoy surprising people. The tried and true method of getting things done are far too boring for those born with Mars in this unique and original sign. Mars and Aquarius natives often have a rather original view of the world as well. These natives are genuinely quite proud of their independence. They are not easily pushed around with marks in this fixed sign. Because Aquarius is progressive and open-minded when it comes to the world at large, it can be surprising that on a personal level, Mars and Aquarius natives can be quite abstain. They feel boxed in, they are quite likely to rebel. If you are discovered in a pattern to their ways, they'll make sure they aren't so predictable the next time around. Being seen as normal simply won't do.
That's cool.
Oh yeah,
I like
that's
that.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's interesting about the like I'm very, very open-minded to other perspectives and viewpoints, but at the end of the day, I'm still like way more loyal and prioritize my own worldview above other people's. Is that, I don't know how much that applies to, but like I don't like I am inquiring with you guys on this because I'm genuinely curious about it.
Yeah.
For like from an open-minded perspective, but I'm also like, as you can tell as we go through this,
You're like a little skeptical.
Yeah, exactly. So
exactly.
I don't know.
All right,
I feel like you're more like checking boxes.
I think you are checking a little.
The whole time he's checking.
I'm checking a lot of boxes. Yeah, for sure. But I'm honest about checking the ones that don't need to be checked, unless it's like the subconscious thing you were talking about. That
maybe. All right. So with Mars, this planet has energy and drive. Because it's the air side, these individuals get off on mental and intellectual pursuits. Aquarius is a somewhat scattered sign, even though it's pre-serving in the long haul. If there's a method to the madness, it isn't always to see. Projects are taken on with a shotgun style approach with this position of Mars. Mars and air signs are generally quite clever at getting what they want. They are particularly adept to getting their way. While this is not overly aggressive position on Mars, oh shit, I lost my spot. It is very willful. Combine willfulness with the cleverness of an air sign, and you are a person who is quite creative about getting what they want, which generally is getting their way. Unlike a Mars or Aries and Leo natives, for example, you won't always know you're being dominated by a Mars and Aquarium.
I like being dominated.
Oh, that's off for a Scorpio.
Interesting.
No, that's not off. Actually.
I was like, it's not. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's very on point.
I'm so dominate. I dominate everything, but like deep down, I want to be dominated. It's just like I can't be.
Too in control.
It depends on the context, I guess.
Fucking sucks.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's interesting because it says you do not easily tolerate a dominating attitude in others. You have a healthy respect for power and authority, but you only if it's handled fairly.
That's true.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
I will defer to like people that like I will lean on people that have authority and know what they're doing. I'm not like
so anti it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very cognizant of like things I don't know about. And I'm very willing to yield to people that know more about shit.
Yeah.
Than I do.
All right. So next we're going to get into your Jupiter, which represents your expansion and your grace. Okay. So you attract the most good fortune when organizing and directing, conducting yourself with integrity, acting ethical, and being mature. You value long-term achievement, responsibilities, and manifestations. Success through resourcefulness and avoiding activities that waste time, energy, or resources. Good at streamlining. Positions or status is important to you.
This is probably the least accurate thing you said.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay. He has problems adapting to the hand drum or an uncertain life. He likes comfort. He can move towards a managerial position or a position of prestige. His success follows him on from that of his parents or in his own home.
Meh.
Okay. All right. Well, that one was the end of that one. So it's okay. So Saturn represents your contraction and effort, and your Saturn is in Scorpio. So another little spicy spice in your life. So you are observant, self-controlled, unforgiving, tough, methodical, a researcher, an investigator, lots of courage, self-assurance, and inclines to keep his cool.
Yes.
Okay.
from what I can see.
Again, keeping cool has to do with context there, but yeah, generally speaking. I think so.
I feel like you always have your cool.
I 100% agree. You seem like very like chill vibes to me. Like, oh wait, maybe like not on the surface cool, maybe underneath not, but on the surface cool.
Yeah, but given the right circumstance, like you were saying, like I got to have the last word, and I can be argumentative, and especially when it comes to ideas and like.
Oh yeah, very. But very, still, like, but there's a very chill, cool vibe about you. Like when I think about you, I think of like a very chill, cool vibe person. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Me too.
Sure.
Me too.
Okay, so possible issues you have are making no concessions or compromises for fear of loss of control or respect. You might become a fanatic of a creed, a party, work, religion in rare cases.
I'd say I'm susceptible to.
Aren't we all though?
Yeah. I don't know. That's another one that could be kind of.
So Saturn.
Everyone's tribal to the point where they can subscribe to something anyway.
Okay, so you're
passionately subscribe to something.
So your Saturn is in your 8th house, and this position points to not being financially very well off. You have like an average salary. Your spouse may not be rich. Possibly a small inheritance, which helps a lot from your parents. Long life and natural death.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
natural
right,
death.
Yeah.
Natural could also be choking on food.
Yeah, so that was funny when she was like asking, is your wife rich? Because I'd be like, oh no, right here. No, he has an average salary. His wife is also not rich. He's going to get small inheritance from his parents, which helps a lot. And he lives long and dies naturally.
Cool.
You have a blessed life, dude.
It's pretty blessed. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like I'm not driven by material or like financial success or anything. Like I would way rather.
Well, and if you notice as we're reading this, nowhere does it say that you like buy a lot of things. Like it's very reflectant of that. Like it's not being like, oh
but
yeah,
it
you
does
like
say I do find pleasures in food and shopping, which is true. Like, but it doesn't have to be anything extravagant either.
It's not that it's food and it's that you're masking with food and shopping, that you use it as a coping mechanism.
Sure,
that's what that says.
Totally, 100%.
Samesies.
All right, so
I like to eat, and I have an Amazon Prime problem. So
don't we all?
Like I ordered like a to blend those two together.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was making a pizza downstairs. It's like I don't have a good pizza pan, and I fired up my phone and I
ordered one.
And I was stoked when it arrived today.
Exactly.
Dude, there's a pizza maker. Oh my god.
Oh, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about with the propane. Yeah, and it's like in the backyard.
Yes.
I went to a party and they had one, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they were like, "We all have one." And I was like, "What? How much is this?" It's like $600.
Yeah, they're pretty badass.
It made a fucking delicious ass pizza, and in
like 2 minutes.
I'm telling my parents to buy one.
Yeah, they should. They have all this extra time now.
I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat that much pizza. But
all right, let's get back to this because we've already been going at it for an hour and we still got more pages. Okay. You're serious, sober, thoughtful, paying attention to detail. He likes to be with older, mature, serious people.
Like me.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Pretty accurate. Okay, so now we're getting into Uranus. I don't mean to be intrude, but we're gonna have to probe into Uranus here. Yeah.
Dive deep in his anus.
Try not to dominate, please.
Don't dominate the Uranus. Okay, so Uranus represents individual liberty and egotistic liberty.
What's in there?
He's a Sagittarius. So you are shy, delicate, but proud, bold, and lively.
Yes.
You are interested in humanity and you are highly intellectual. You travel a lot. Your mind is always alert, even when sleeping, during which time he often resolves the problems of the previous day. Accurate?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
I read that one and I was like, that for some reason that sounds like Bobby to me.
The stuff about like the interest in like communication and humanity and like, the big picture stuff and, curiosity, that's all very, very accurate, I think.
I think so too.
Individualism, personal liberty, that's definitely like right on target. So yeah, anyway.
Okay, so he lives through marvelous adventures, but without much follow-up. It is true, but this leaves happy memories. He can have many such adventures and fantastic love at first sight encounters.
Yeah, but I think I've kind of like grown out of that.
Let's see. And again, this is things that you can grow out of.
I'm like very cynical when it comes to or skeptical when it comes to like, I love that person. And
Yeah,
then,
no, I
like,
get that. Yeah.
3
Okay,
months
so
later, you're like, get the fuck out of
get the
my
fuck
house,
out of my house.
please.
Exactly. Okay, so we're getting into Neptune, which represents transcendental liberty and non-egotistic liberty, and yours is in Sagittarius. So may especially love long voyages, things foreign, being close to water, altruistic, broad spiritual vision, humane and spiritual.
Sure.
Okay. He is perceptive and able to see layers to a situation. He is naturally drawn to learn what makes himself and others tick.
Yep.
And again, I'm not reading all of this. There's so much more that you should. I
Right.
just
I
send
want
it
you
to
to
you
send
and
me
you got
that whole
into.
thing.
Yeah, because there's more to it. So okay. So now we're going to talk about Lilith again, and your Black Moon Lilith represents our deeper, darker natures that may be repressed or
Ooh.
buried. Your
Let's go.
Lilith is in Aries, so there can be some fear of taking the lead, asserting oneself, and making executive decisions. These things need to be learned in his lifetime, and when interrogated and accepted, it can be empowering.
Mhm.
I think that's a journey.
I have like a fear of like being held accountable, I guess. So like I was saying earlier, I like to defer to
the people who know. Yeah.
that would rather do that than
Yeah.
me, myself. But if push comes to shove, I can. And I think that has a lot to do with my like insecurities about my own influence and stuff. Is like, it's like, okay, well, you want respect in your influence, then you need to like grab the bull by the horns and like be assertive in that sense. But anyway, yeah, that makes sense.
So your path relates to earning your own way and making firm executive decisions, although you readily fall back on supportive relationships, and you're good at handling others' resources and encouraging them to be the best they can. You need to learn to depend on yourself and to apply these same lessons to your own life so that intimate relationships and health improve many others over time. You should remember that drama does not equal love. You should not allow intense emotions in relationship to disrupt your practical life. Learning when not to share can be rewarding too.
Amen.
You like that one?
Okay.
That was pretty good. So you're financially usually pretty comfortable, and there can be a tendency to splurge on luxury items sometimes. However, you're unlikely to go wanting. The house where Venus is placed can show areas where money can be made. Many hold on to things sentimental about personal possessions.
Yep. I have a lot of crap.
That's what I figured. I was gonna say, like you got like an average salary, you're comfortable, you don't go wanting. Sometimes you can splurge on some nice things.
Yep.
That's definitely
He
your
lives
vibe,
in
I
Texas.
think.
He's allowed to have
Exactly.
things without splurging, so it's not fair.
Exactly.
What does that
Uh,
even mean?
Have your room wouldn't happen in California
Why?
because it looks nice.
yeah, that
Oh.
you would be poor in California, is what she's saying.
This is like a
You'd be poor.
child's. This is like a child's room. Anyway,
Okay, so
The big boy room.
it has
Okay.
toys and shit in it.
That's cool.
okay, lots of vitality and
What kind of toys?
listen to me. Oh, ooh. Okay. You have lots of vitality, but your hastiness can put your life in danger at times. You're unafraid of tricky topics such as sex and death. You are passionate and you're intrigued by the metaphysical.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
accurate for what the fuck you were talking about. All right, we're on the last page, guys. So,
Oh good.
okay,
It's
long,
better.
right? Exactly. This is gonna be like exactly an hour. Long voyages abroad are possible. Might settle permanently in a foreign country. Intellectual work, mathematical mind.
Nope.
Your job should involve travel, especially abroad, and if possible, some risk, creativity, and adventure is attached to that. That needs to be what your job is. Stable friendships will be composed with wise people from whose experience and life benefits enrich your life.
Is that it?
That's it.
I'd say that's 85% accurate.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty decent.
You acted like it was 90.
No, he didn't.
We'll
No,
split the difference. Let's
you know
say
what?
87.
You know what, Bree? If you would have stopped getting up and leaving, you would have seen that other 10%.
I pee.
I know. He was like, where'd Bree go? I was like, she probably went pee. I was like, now the audio listeners know she disappears.
It's different when we just record because I'm like, I have to pee, I'll be back. And then I can take it out.
But now you just like dip. All right. So Bobby, how do you feel about your birth chart? Do you feel like it was pretty kind of accurate about who you are as a person? It kind of
there were some things that were like
Very spot on. And again, I didn't read all of it.
Sure. And there was, I'll yield to Brie. I'd say it's 90% accurate, because like that 10%, like there were definitely some stuff in there that's like just like mathematical mind, not so much.
Maybe that you just don't realize it though, because a mathematical mind. So I think sometimes we think about things so literally. Like I don't think a mathematical mind means you think about math. I think it just thinks you think about things in a very calculating way.
I think
analytical,
in systems,
very analytical. Yeah,
that's true. And it's not that I'm not good at mathematical stuff. I just don't find interest in it, like on a raw.
Hate math.
Yeah, I hate math. Who likes
Like,
math?
I can do it. I'm talking about like academic math. Like I can do it, but I don't like to do it, so I kind of zone out of it. But it makes sense when I apply myself, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, as far as like thinking big pictures and systems and analytical and how everything's connected and things like that, I think that's kind of can be kind of Venn diagram with what we're talking about. So I'll give you 90%.
And we'll have to our next episode, I'll have to read some snippets of mine and Bree's so you can see kind of what we mean, that it doesn't necessarily, because there's a lot of that I read that like none of that really applies to me. Like some of the Libra stuff, I was like, oh, yep, there I am. But then like a lot of the other stuff, like that doesn't sound like me. That's not what I would do.
You have to take into account like, okay, we have both nature and nurture as well. Like yes, like if we're accepting that the way the cosmos is positioned is affecting me as a person, that's fine. But there's other things to consider too, like and like genetics, upbringing, things like that.
Upbringing, I think, is bigger than genetics.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's a debate as old as time. But
and
then you think about epigenetics, which is very interesting, which we should talk about sometime.
What if though? Okay, what if we're all simulation and your birth chart is just us accessing your file and seeing what your code is?
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. And then it doesn't matter what the code is. You can override, you can change, you can add to that coding. You can.
I don't think that simulations necessarily, like, yes, that does apply in simulation, but simulation's not required there. It's just if everything's works in formulas and systems, and like if we look at the grand picture of like the magic giant grandfather clock that is the cosmos in the parts, the facets of that cosmos and how it all affects itself, I think that's perfectly reasonable. I don't believe in like that very cynical, like this is all just a random big bang.
Honestly, I think people that think that haven't dived deep enough or dive deep at all. Like, I think when you start to expand your mind into all the different possibilities, you see so much that could be applied that you can't hold on to that. We're just going to rot in the dirt and it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that anymore as a rational mind. Now I see that as a boxed mind, like someone that hasn't even thought enough.
I don't think you're doing yourself any favors to
like you're not, it's like you're blocking yourself from all the other possibilities. And I'm not saying you have to like subscribe to everything, but I think people that genuinely believe that we're born, we're dead, we rot in the dirt, and that's it. I truly just think that it's pure ignorance, and not to say that in like a bad way, like, oh, you're ignorant, but like just that you don't know enough possibility. Because I think if you really tried, you would find so much truth in all these other explanations and routes of what reality is that you would take something on. You would see some truth and these different facets of what people, how people try to our reality.
I agree. Do we have time to get into the cryptid?
Yeah, let's get into we have all the time in the world. What's fun about this is that we dictate how long or how short it is. So if we want to talk for 7 hours, we will. I don't know who's going to listen for 7 hours, but if they
Right,
do,
right.
hats off to you. Let's talk about this right here, the fucking Fresno Nightcrawlers. Bree last week said that she wanted us to start drawing all of the cryptids we were going to do, so I took it very seriously and I fucking drew them. Look how fucking stunning that is.
You painted that.
So beautiful.
I painted this.
I didn't get to finish my painting of the most important part, which was the actual crawlers.
I can't believe.
I had to make adjustments. I got so stuck on my background.
Let's see a
that
little bit.
I did the crawlers, and then today I was like, what the fuck did I do? So I tried to paint over it, and then I was going to redo it, and I didn't get to. And then you wanted me to jump on here, so I was like, I was trying to fix my painting, and I was just like, fuck it. I got inspired by a photo that I saw.
You can't lie, mine is fucking spot on.
I don't think you can
pretty
see.
good.
I got really.
Wow.
Ooh.
You have perspective.
Yeah.
I got like really into this photo that I saw.
I didn't do the
Can't even see
background.
it.
Yeah, I can. We can see them on the road. There's two of
I
them, a big
got-
one and a small one.
I got so. It looks like shit in the camera.
No, I
got
love it.
So obsessed with the
The
trees,
trees.
and trying to create the fog
Yeah.
that I fucked these guys up.
No, they
And
look
so
good.
I was trying to repaint them. You can probably see I redid it
A
but I
little
was just
bit,
like,
but they look great.
but I was trying to create the scene.
I like it. It's a vibe. Bobby, did you happen to draw any of
I
our?
did not.
Wow.
Bobby's like
shame.
most likely the most artistic of us all.
I know, and
and
he
brings
didn't-
nothing.
Nothing.
No
Nothing to the
time.
table.
No time for that.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
Do instead of
I'll try.
when you get off and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go play
Play video
I will-
games?
I will make it a point by next episode, whatever cryptid we decide to do. I will.
We decide to do. Okay. All
I
right.
thought we
deal.
were gonna do the Bell Witch. No,
I think we're gonna do the Bell Witch next. Yes.
I didn't rent
Okay.
that bitch for
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So on to Bree. Bree, take it away with the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Okay. So this came up last week. What were we talking about last week? Where I even mentioned this? I don't know.
Who knows? I think. Because of what it looked like. It looked like the Dover Demon.
Yeah, and
Gave
I
you
had never
Dover
even
Demon
heard of
vibes.
this
little
thing.
bit.
Yeah. And so we
little
looked
bit.
it up on Google. Exactly.
This is a relative.
We have a video to show. Should we show that real quick? Should we show the
This
Yeah,
is
video?
a
let's watch the
relatively
video.
new
Okay.
cryptid.
It is.
Yes.
All right. I have the video. Let me find it. So Bree, talk about it a little bit while I get this going.
It's called the Fresno Nightcrawlers because it was spotted in Fresno first, Fresno, California. And then there was also a sighting in Yosemite, and random stories have popped up of other sightings. But I think that this is mainly just in Fresno or maybe California area. Who knows?
All right. You
Mhm.
ready?
I think that one thing I'd like to mention about I think that these stories is that this is the Yosemite one. This is not the first one.
This video? No, this is just one of the ones that I did.
There you go. The second one. So I wanted
don't-
to show
I
the
don't think-
first video first.
I don't think it's going to show me that one. I'm going to have to find it. So let me keep talking and I'll find it.
So the first video I think is the one that has the most not proof, but I think the most that people have tried to debunk it and have somewhat failed. So what I wanted to say, almost like a disclaimer, is you can research this like top to bottom, all these different sites, and then the dates become scrambled to when this video actually happened, the first one. And to me, that's red flag, because it is some sites will say this happened in the 90s. The other ones say, no, this is 2007.
Mhm.
So to me, like, even when we go into different UFO topics, that's always something Jamie and I try to point out, is that there's so much conflicting information. To me, that's always a red flag. This is the first video here. And the story is that it is a man, Jose, that one right there, who put up a security camera because his dogs were barking and going kind of crazy. So he wanted to see what the hell is the deal here. So he put up the video camera and was shocked at the floating pants that he saw.
Floating pants is really what it looks like. Yeah.
Here's my red flag with this one. I'm gonna come out and say it.
Do it, please.
I'm gonna lean more already into
Uh-oh.
sci-fi. I know we say that to the end, but I'm gonna lean already to sci-fi, which is pretty says a lot for someone like me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find any like I could only find people talking about finding these like on security cameras. Like I did you guys find anything on like people actually like eyewitness accounts like driving down the road or something like that?
There are no eyewitness accounts. I've even read stories of people saying how there are no eyewitness accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
just
and
the
these things
CCTV
seem
videos.
Relatively bold to be just walking across a field. It's not like they're moving fast or like not trying to be seen. It seems like they're trying to be seen on a camera.
Like they're very purposely turning towards the camera to look this way.
It's very creepy, and it's almost like it almost reminds me of like a weird Tim Burton monster, or like something from Super Mario Brothers and the ghost castles and stuff. But at the end of the day, it looks like pants. It just looks like pants.
Next time someone says like, well, where are my pants? Well, they don't just get up and walk away. You'll be like, but they do. Let me show you some videos. Proof.
That is, and the other thing is like, okay, let's say like this thing could easily have inspired more hoaxes. Like that is not
for sure.
difficult to recreate.
No.
And I think that's kind of one of the fun things about folklore in general is like, you know, obviously the origin of it and how it becomes like a thing talked about, like it's in the zeitgeist now. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that this is anything supernatural or alien, or I think it's
I can see that. I want to back up just a little bit. So that first video
sorry.
that we saw,
I jumped the gun.
No, it's cool. I like to jump. So that first video, Jose, who we don't know his last name, second red flag, releases this video, goes to his news station because he's like, what the fuck is this, right? And that's when it really hits. Now, again, this gets really confusing because they say it happened in the 90s, but really it didn't hit until 2007. So we've already clarified that's the time frame is a big red flag there. Let's just say 2007. This video so we have 2007, that video. Then we have the second video, which happened in Yosemite. And the story there was that there was vandalism happening. So then they put up the security cameras. And then that's where they got the second video, which is this one we're looking at now.
This one looks so sketchy to me. Yeah, this looks so sketchy to me.
This is the Yosemite one. This is the one video where people began to try to take detail of this cryptid, saying that there's obviously some webbing that's happening from the knees down, almost like it's connected in a weird way. And then noticing that they're also in a pair of two, that it's not like a singular creature. It happens like maybe a mom and a baby. But I will say the first video we saw, the one that came from Jose, went on Fact or Faked on the Sci-Fi Channel, and they went through this one. They went through a tremendous amount
to try to recreate it and
could not recreate. So that's the only thing that I question about this, is because why weren't they able? They did some type of analysis and then said, okay, this is not CGI. The video itself was not altered any way, shape, or form. They did, try to make like strings, like a puppeteer.
And this one, look at how this one looks so different than the other one.
Could not recreate. So that's literally the only like hair thick shred of question that I have, is only that they couldn't recreate that. And if you guys watch the shows that they've done in the past, they really go into depth and try to do what they can to debunk things, and they couldn't do it with this video. Now that doesn't mean that it wasn't a hoax.
Yeah,
it could just be that, beginner's luck, like someone just Yeah, so we see it here in a different
It's like embossed. It was showing us like basically the video was saying if there was a string on it, then you'd see the string
would
on the
see it.
embossment. Yeah.
yeah. The second video, no one's even
Well,
tried because I think
I-
the second video looks like trash, and they were like, that's not a
Yeah.
thing.
I get the puppet theory, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know why that wouldn't be difficult to make like a little sheet with like a pants extension and then
And they
just zombie
I don't-
walk
yeah.
across a security footage.
Yeah.
I
And
think they
it's
tried,
so awkward.
though.
It doesn't even look like anything would walk naturally like that, but I think that's
Okay,
kinda
so I was
adds
just
to the
gonna say,
creepiness.
looking at this one seems to like kind of spin in circles almost when it walks, if you pay attention to it. And the one in front of it very much so walks in a straight line. But see, look, this one, see how it's like very,
Yeah, it's almost like crab walking.
it's like, yeah, it's so strange. And the other one walks so much more purposely, like bam, ba, bam, ba, bam. No knees on either of them.
It is very weird.
But see how it almost turns around and spins when it walks, and it starts off kind of
It's
like
like-
that too.
It's like step,
Turns.
step, turn,
Yeah.
step.
See, look, and see how it turns and then comes back, like almost like an accordion almost. It's
Or
just so
like it-
it's interesting, the movements of it.
It pulls like the whole half side of its weight forward as opposed to like
Forward.
using the legs from the waist down. Well, I guess there's not really a waist. but
There's
you know
not
what I
really
mean?
a
It's like-
waist. Yeah.
it's like it's almost like a like a buoy in the water or something. Like,
Yes. But this video came much later. This is 2011.
Like, is it sideways? Is it front facing? Like, I'm so confused at the perspective of what we're looking at it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
So it was only the first video that has been demonstrated to
Be like not.
be authentic, but not
Can-
easily.
They couldn't like easily be
Agreed.
like, no, we couldn't say for infinitive this is all fake.
can you play that again, please?
Which one? Which one?
Mhm.
The last one you saw. I'm just watching it over and over again. I'm like,
I know it's so creepy, and I just
I'm
like
trying to figure out like if this could be some sort of trick of the light or like camera artifact or some sort of like I don't know, some sort of
oh,
animal that
there we go.
you don't have the full.
It's funny you say animal because we can talk theories.
I don't
This
know,
one.
Are you guys
this-
seeing that full screen now?
I think this one's the most compelling one, I think, because
This is just so interesting to me. I can't stop watching it. Truly.
Really?
Yeah, honestly. I don't know if it's fake or real, but like it's just so the movements and like when it turns
It's-
sideways, it looks so thin, but then like looks so wide that it's so and the other one in the background looks so different from the one in the foreground. See how it stops and keeps pausing, looks behind itself. All of a sudden it's like walking straight, but then it crosses its legs right here. See, and like kind of drags one leg behind. They're so different. Look, that one he does a full circle in the corner right there.
But
Yeah,
towards
roll
the
that-
end,
roll
I
that
feel like
bean
we could
footage again.
only
Roll that-
see.
Yes. Okay, wait, hold on. I
we
gotta go
can
back even
almost
further.
see through it.
Yeah, see,
though.
look,
Here.
look,
see, look.
Boom! You can see through it there.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking weird right there at the end.
See, no one's done any analysis on this video. To me, this could be something that's a CGI.
This could be, I feel like this could be more easily recreated for sure. I just don't know about the movements though. The movements are
this
so
what's-
interesting.
This is the
What's the ending for me?
2011.
Here's the thing
In
about this one.
Yosemite.
Here's the thing that gets me about this video. The way it walks doesn't look like somebody's bending their knees. So like, how are they? It's so,
Well, I mean, you could, like I said, it's like they're just swaying back and forth and moving all their weight. Like there's
oh,
the gate.
I get
isn't
what you're
like-
saying. He's
it's not
Patrick
like-
starring it.
It's not like this. It's like this. Boom,
Patrick
boom.
Star.
Yes, Jamie. Yes.
Patrick Star.
Yes.
Yeah. But that other one in the back is a midget, I think, too.
That looks like
Or
my
a
child
child.
back there.
It's just, and then
But-
like, but look at
But-
some
but
points, look
far
how
up the,
I was gonna say, look how
Yes.
wide the legs are. Like, look at that. That's
Well, look-
fucking
Spread 'em.
insane.
and
Spread
look how
'em.
far up like the crotch
That's
goes,
where
like,
I
if it
got my
was-
And then,
drawing.
and the
was
thing,
this wide.
and here's the thing with that one. That's what gets me. It's like, okay, it could be weird, but then it does that where it's like you see, like the thing that is on top could be the smallest ball. How could that be a person in there? You know what I'm saying? Like the other one, I could
God.
see you hiding and your body in there, but that one over there, that one's a little sketchy to me.
This is not people.
This
No, I'll
one's
give you
not a
that.
person.
I give you that. That is not people. But it's the see-through part in the next
Man.
frame that we can see through it that I'm like, what?
You guys are convincing me to move towards middle
right?
bitch.
Boom. Pause. Oh,
Oh, hold
fuck,
on, let me go back.
bitch, you missed it.
Come on.
Right there. Boom.
I don't think you could see.
What is that?
Yeah.
You can see the line of the road right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a belt, but it's the road.
I get what you're saying. Like the white part
Well,
of like the road.
rewind it and see if we can see it in a different
But listen,
frame.
this is in Yosemite. This is one of the
See, yeah, you see it the whole time he
haunted-
turns. Yeah, you see it the whole fucking time he turns. Bro.
almost a haunted national park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
if I
is
wanted to,
the number one most dangerous park in the country.
The other
People are
guy
missing
isn't
all the
see-through though.
time. People die here all the time. There's tons of different ghost lore just in Yosemite by itself. There are different areas of Yosemite that is literally known for just the haunting there. Like lures you in a place, pushes you off the cliff, or someone that's like crying, like typical. What's the word? Is it a cryptid? No.
Just like
ghosts, like how some type of poltergeist or something.
Poltergeist, yeah.
The cry is always like a really big thing when it comes to weird supernatural creatures like this, where they cry, lures you in, and they like do something to you. So Yosemite in general is very high in high strangeness. So this almost looks better to me than the first video, which is funny that the first video was like, we can't debunk it. No one's tried with this video. And for some reason, the more I watch that video, the more
I'm like into it. Yeah, me too right now.
Weird.
Yeah. I can't say I keep watching it. The more and more it's like, no, that's the fake one. That's the shitty one. But then the more and more you look at it, you're like, wait a second, there's some weird fucking shit going on here.
But it's hard if you think about it, because our mind can be so analytical that we want to say there's no way. Why would it look like this? But at the same time, how are we to like, where do we put the line of what we think it would look like and what we're just projecting? Like what standard we have where something would really wow us? You know, it's like you have to put that kind of what you envision aside.
A lot of the more like folklore or high strangest explanations seemingly don't have any kind of like solid, like it just seems like it was kind of made up on the spot, because you'll read about like, well, the natives perhaps thought it was like some sort of extraterrestrial that from another swamp planet that is here to teach man how to live in harmony with nature. It's just like, you just so easy to pull that out of your ass, you know. It like, so that's a red flag to me, is just like, there's no, like you said, the source of it is sketchy, the dates, where it's from, the fact that there's only like 2 or 3 videos or whatever it is, the fact that there's no reported eyewitness accounts of these things. But
besides
like
Jose,
you said, yes,
but
well, like
it's just this video.
But it's just the video, right? Like you'd think you'd see like a roadside sighting or something like that. But again, like you said, the Sierras and like Yosemite, that whole area is really weird just in general. I mean, there's a lot of Bigfoot activity out there. You're not too far from all that.
Well, it's interesting too that it's a lot like the Dover Demon. Like you don't have a bunch of sightings, right? Like we have this very isolated kind of instance where it happened. These 2 videos, whether one of them or both of them are real, right? You have this very isolated thing. It's been a cultural phenomenon. Bobby doesn't know too much about it, but me and Bree know about it very much. I've seen it in like movies. There's tons of, if you go online pictures, so many fucking pictures that people like draw of it because it's so creepy.
Stupid. It's now like a pop culture thing.
It's like a pop culture thing.
If you look it up online, chances are you are going to get more websites that are selling t-shirts, coasters, stickers. Like that's fucking dumb. Like to me, that's like, at least with Sasquatch
that happens
and
with
Bigfoot,
like everything though.
Yeah, but at least with that, you have equal amount. I think you have more websites that are just creating merch than you have someone giving you any actual information. And one thing that we didn't talk about that Bobby mentioned though was the whole like American Indian thing. Like it's the Native American story. So you touched on it, but we didn't talk really about how people are saying that this is something that's mentioned in Native American culture. That these are, like you said, the swamp beings.
But how verifiable is that? Was kind
It's
of my
not.
point.
It's been debunked. So that's what's really funny that you mentioned it. It's literally been debunked. It's like on every single site, everyone's like, oh, this seems crazy. But in a Native American culture, no one names what tribe, what the name of this being is. Everyone just says in Native American culture and Native American lore.
Right.
These beings are swamp beings, and that's why they have these tall legs so they can walk through the marshlands.
There's no like old weathered Indian man.
There's no name.
About this or
yeah,
anything.
exactly. And so and then there's the pictures. There's pictures of these statues almost that look very similar to them. Do you have that? Can you?
I'll look it up. Right. I'll look it up while you talk.
But were those even created?
So that's another thing is no one knows who took the picture, where the picture's located at all. So there's people that are like, oh, this is in Florida. There's other people that are like, oh, no, this is a DMV in California. No one knows exactly where these statues are and if they are whatsoever even related to any type of Native American lore. They're just like a random picture. And then people just threw it out there. Everyone picked it up and ran without giving any like precise detail or attaching what it is. They just said, oh, Native American lore. They weren't like, oh, this tribe and this is what they're called. People like they're swamp beings. Oh, they're fairy beings. They're beings that have been here before us, and they're here to connect us to our human world, to nature, to the unseen. They're nature spirits. No one knows where this is, who took the picture, who uploaded it, and where the hell it is. Like, this could have been after all of these things. This could be a completely different being.
This could be just
is it this one, Brie?
Random.
There were the first couple ones that you put and that one.
Yeah.
So
this could easily be like sculpture art that was created before this was even a thing too.
Exactly. But it's sad though, because one thing I think Jamie and I always agree on is if a story, anything like that ever crosses over to any type of Native American culture, history, lore, it gives a certain type of credence to the story because they were the first people. I personally think that like what was passed down to their generation holds more value than what we see in our everyday life now. They didn't have that type of like weird control and censorship and filtering that we have now. So I always take that into more consideration than I think what I see in my everyday life. So I feel like in this situation, it was taken advantage of.
Right. So if you can want to make the claim and trace this back to like Native American lore, it shouldn't be this vague. Like there should be some solid narrative.
You should have some fucking cave paintings or some shit.
Or it's just a dude that has, a dude that's a Native American man that's talking about it or something.
Exactly.
Every video you find on YouTube about this is basically like everything we just said, only we're just hyper analyzing it because it's fun. But yeah, like there's no, it's like the Native American thing just seems like such an embellished cop out. Like it's almost like, well, it's real because so and so XYZ Native American lore, and you're like, okay, but
it's like we've talked about before, the God of the Gap theories, the alien of the Gap theories. You now have the Indian of the Gap theories. What you can't explain, you throw some explanation on to try to hold some credence to it.
I hate that because it does hold weight.
And that's why they did it though. But that's why they did it.
It discredits the legitimate.
It does. That's what I'm saying. It was taken advantage of, because if you take a second look, you'll notice that every single page, every single story that's saying that doesn't tell you the tribe, doesn't tell you the story, doesn't tell you the name. They actually say, oh, but we don't know like who and what said this and like where. So why even bring it up? It's like they tried so hard to bring it into legitimacy, I think, with that. And it doesn't withstand whatsoever.
And it could have been people trying to sell t-shirts, like you said, like there's a lot of speculation about everything from Loch Ness, attract tourism, create some sort of weird phenomenon just to like sell some coffee mugs at the local corner store or whatever. I mean, there's cases like in Wisconsin, like the Hodag monster, which is like legitimately a hoax. Like it's not a real thing. There's a picture of these old timey guys in front of it, but it's not real. But it became a part of the town's lore, and people go there, and everyone knows it's not real, but people still go there, and like they sell T-shirts and merchandise and all that stuff. So I don't know. Like this one is cool and it's neat, but I'm leaning more towards sci-fi.
I was
I'm
like,
totally down to sci-fi it.
I think we're gonna have to sci-fi it. I'm super compelled by that fucking video, but I think I'm gonna have to sci-fi it with you.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was so down to just be like sci-fi, and then we kept watching that stupid video over and over. And I've seen it so many times that for some reason, like just replaying it and like staring at it.
Okay. So if
hard, only because I'm like, damn, how did they do that? But
if
anything is fucking possible.
If we scale this, if 1 is fact, 5 is middle bitch, 10 is sci-fi, I'm giving it a 7.
I was
gonna
say
an 8.
An 8.
Wow.
8.5. 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost 8.5, but I went 8. Yeah.
You know what? To be honest.
Be honest.
I know. Give me a second. I'm trying to find
the words for it.
No, I'm just trying to feel how I feel.
Oh, okay. Feel it. This is great audio.
I know. I hate when I do this and you're always like, this is great audio.
Gaia what it is.
Because this is not for listeners.
We're still here, audio people.
So how about that one time he's addicted by aliens?
This better be good, Bree.
I'm sci-fiing it 100%. 10.
Okay.
10.
Wow.
We got a scale now.
Wow. Yeah, you had to get really into that. You're like, wait, let me really meditate on it real quick.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for creating a scale.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We like that.
This has been a monumental moment for me in my life.
Okay.
It's life changing.
No, it is because I'm always like, I sci-fi or I fact.
So you're doing
or
a
like,
solid
middle
10.
bitch, and then I'm like, but I'm leaning
towards yeah.
And it's so hard. So I feel so comfortable.
So it's the middle bitch scale.
Yeah, like
Bobby's middle bitch scale.
Yeah,
it's a hard 10.
I gave it a hard 10.
I'm gonna do an 8.5.
Don't let me think about it because I'll change my mind.
Yeah, she'll change her mind.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna do Price is Right rules and say 8.
8. All right, 8. All right, that's a solid. Fuck this cryptid up its asshole.
I think that it's easily hoaxable, even with the more compelling.
I think that for Halloween we should all dress up as one and take pictures.
I thought that too, but I don't have the right body type for that.
We can make it work. We'll get you some stilts. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. People always say it looks like stilts.
Marshmallow Man.
All right, Bobby, why don't you tell us about your cryptid movie?
Oh,
let's say that for next time.
No.
Okay, real quick. If you've made it this far in the episode,
exactly.
I do this thing a lot where I'm really into like horror and sci-fi and weird, interesting movies.
Not for Everyone podcast.
I host a movie podcast called Not for Everyone, but it's not just movies, but it's mostly around that. The point
this is your main podcast now, though.
It kind of is. It's a lot more consistent, to be honest. A new one just dropped today, by the way, for Not for Everyone.
Perfect.
But a lot of time, Amazon app, the Amazon Prime app with all the movies, I love it so much because it's I guess it's super easy to throw anyone's movie on there.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Rotate about. They're a lot less like selective than something like Netflix. Yeah. So there's a lot of like trash horror movies on there, and sometimes I'll just kind of like throw one on for background noise and see if it catches my attention, or maybe find some gems in the pile of trash. And I'm happy to report this one called Dawn of the Beast that I watched.
Down.
I don't know if it's your cup of tea, Brie, but it's fun. You'd
be surprised. Honey cakes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, this one is a relatively recent independent horror film that I threw on. And like I said, like I threw it on for background noise, but I ended up like rewinding it and watching it from the beginning because it caught my attention. It's more or less about people going out to look for cryptids in the woods. And we it's kind of what I like to call a monster mash movie, where it's like you have all kinds of different monsters,
Ooh.
but in
Yeah,
this
monster
case, it's
mash.
cryptid. So there's like a Wendigo, and there's a Bigfoot, and then there's like some nods to like, Evil Dead type, possessions and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just this weird hodgepodge, and it's really well executed and pulled off, especially for something that I had no expectations for. So Dawn of the Beast is, if you're into this kind of stuff and you like independent horror movies, I would definitely check that out.
Does it have a good
Yes.
ending? Good
Yeah.
acting? Decent acting?
For what it is, yes.
I was like, sometimes bad acting makes a movie good.
But that's another reason why I throw these on sometimes, to see like try to find the next so bad it's good entertaining movie. I was like, this movie is just like a good, like it's decent. And
I'm gonna watch
for
it.
what it is.
All right, we'll all watch it. I'm down.
An idea. At the
We'll
end of
report.
I
every
was like
episode,
really, really stoned when I watched it, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'll eat
don't
some
know.
gummies.
So at the
first.
end of every episode, Bobby, we're gonna need you to recommend a movie for us.
Movie now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be your new.
this will be Bobby's. Like, you can bring some of the not for everyone here. I think that would be really excellent, actually, to our show.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobby, thank you for coming on our show and making us.
This is Bobby's show too.
Yeah, it's yours now. You're
Are
in
you guys
it.
still doing like regular episodes?
We are recording one on October 2nd or 3rd.
Okay. Well,
So sometimes.
I would like
Sometimes
to
for everyone podcast.
put a feeler out if you guys are down. I want to interview some people that have cryptid accounts.
Yeah, let's
whether
do it.
that's
I'm in.
Bigfoot,
yeah.
or it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be an expert, just someone that has a
Yeah, let's
cryptid
throw it out
story
there.
to tell, and we can break it down.
I like it. We'll throw it out on the
Let's do
Twitters
it.
and do it. And like, yeah, let's get people in. All right, everybody. We love you. That was our episode this week. We'll be back next week on Tuesday, as always, at 1 a.m. We had somebody this morning who was like, I was just randomly checking your YouTube this morning to see if you dropped a video, and now it's 3 a.m. and I can't stop watching.
Oh, that's
Fuck
good.
yeah.
I was like, you're welcome, sir. Welcome to early hour YouTube drops.
Is this really at 1 a.m.?
Shout
Yeah,
out to
really.
that guy.
Sunny. Thank you, Sunny. We love you.
Sunny.
Sunny. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Love you.
End it like you normally do.
Oh, fuck you, Mountain View, California.
Fuck you, Bobby.
And fuck you, Bobby.
And fuck you, Bobby. Fuck you so much. Thank you for being here. I don't like to say fuck you, Mountain View, California. Jamie likes to say it. I don't like to throw that kind of shade out there in the universe.
Okay, so give us a closing line.
No, I always say that.
Just say fuck you, Bobby.
I just said fuck you, Bobby. Love
Okay.
you, everybody. Love
All
you,
right.
Bobby. Love you, Mountain
Goodbye.
View. Love
Goodbye.
you to the cryptids.
You can just
if
cut this
you
off back.
Yeah, I'm
to
just gonna
Bobby.
cut it off. Just
if you're a Fresno Nightcrawler, call me.
call me.
Show up. Maybe we could see. Wait, hold on. We didn't really think about the fact that, like, what about how in some videos there's like different filters so you can see different things. So maybe like the human eye can't actually see the crawler, but it picks up on camera. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
no one has actual eyes.
Eyewitness of it? Maybe.
Yep.
Food for
That's
thought.
definitely a part of the conversation we could have talked about 20
Well,
minutes
just
ago.
I just did.
All right. Bye, guys.
It's never
Okay.
too late to have
No,
good fun.
it's ended.